It's close to 9 o'clock here on a Tuesday night, and I go live on Tuesdays. It's usually a lot earlier than this. I had it on my calendar, and then I probably did something else, and I completely forgot about it. So I was talking to somebody in Messenger, and we were just chit-chatting, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be live right now. So here we go. Here's to showing up live. So please, if you're here, let me know you're here with me. Hashtag me live. Let me know you're here. So talking about the concept of the questions we ask ourselves, sitting here thinking about what am I going to bring value this week? How am I going to contribute to my community? Which is you guys, which is the people who watch here, the people who come on, who see me live weekly, who comment, who let me know their questions so I can continue to build out content. And the thing I was speculating about was a huge shift I've made in the past few months. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a hard time saying no? Do you have a hard time saying no? Notice I did not say to who or what, just do you have a hard time saying no? I want to know if this topic is hitting home. Hi, Tracy. How's it going, girl? So that's what we're talking about. And I'm going to tie it back to why this matters for you. So the question again is, do you have a hard time saying no? So I did. I did for a long time. It's been a part of my personality. It's been a part of a little bit of people pleasing, a little bit of caring what people think about me, a little bit of wanting to be liked and likable. No is super hard to say. Thank you, Tracy. Yes. For most people, no is actually really hard to say. That's right. I think especially as women, we've kind of been taught, Tracy, that we need to serve, we need to please, we need to make people feel good about where they're at and if they selected to work with us or they've selected to be friends with us, etc., etc., etc. All this goodwill in the community. And at the same time, you start to see how draining it is when you're constantly saying yes to things. And one of the things that I have been working on over the past few months was being able to say no, but doing it with grace and also doing it in a way where I'm not severing relationships, but I choose to respect myself more than what somebody's bid for me is. So I choose myself and I choose to protect myself, my time, what I need. And that includes if I just need to sit around on the sofa and scroll on Facebook, or if I need to sit around and take a nap because I'm tired of doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing that I've chosen. And so as I've gone through this and I realized that saying no now has become a habit for me. And I do it simply. I don't beat around the bush. I don't say sorry for the no that's about to come. I don't apologize for the no after I deliver it. I just simply say, hey, thanks for asking that question. Have you done this? Or, hey, appreciate you thinking of me. I'm not the best person to help you here. Here's what you could do. Or, hey, that makes a lot of sense. Right now, I'm really tied up with tons of clients and tons of calls, so I don't have the bandwidth to take that on. Or even responding and saying, that is out of the scope, and we could do it. We might need to extend the timeline, and I need to understand exactly what you want so I can give you a fee for what that's going to be. So Tracy's saying it's even hard to say no and not justify it with a reason why I said no. Exactly. And that's part of the training to untrain yourself. And so this is the stuff I've been thinking about because as I'm getting coaching from mostly men right now, the coaching I'm getting, and even like I read one of Warren Buffett's posts and or his quotes, is that really rich people or really successful entrepreneurs, whatever you want to call it, they say no like 10 times more often than they say yes. They say no all the time. And the reason is this is they're protecting their time, they're protecting their intentions, they're protecting their bandwidth, they're protecting their energy, and they're also protecting who they're in constant communication with, their environment. So let me know if this is resonating for you guys. Let me know if you're here with a hashtag live. The question I asked at the beginning again is, do you find it hard to say no? And through that process, I've learned that after focusing attention on it, spending a little time talking about it, I have been practicing saying no. And it is literally a learned thing. If you're used to being a people pleaser, if you're used to trying to give 110%, if you want to make sure everyone is happy and like you're delivering beyond expectations, this is for you. So practicing no is so helpful because when you have the opportunity now, I need a no protection shield. I love that. So when you have the opportunity now, because you have said no 10 times, when a great opportunity comes your way, you have the ability now, you have the freedom, and you have headspace and clarity to say yes to the right thing. What this does is it can double or triple affect your needle. And I mean that your bottom line, your profitability, whether you're enjoying your business or not, whether you have time with your kids, whether you're tired all the time. So saying no and being able to do that is one of the biggest moves that you have to make when you're an entrepreneur looking to next level. And I think that sometimes for people who know how to say no, this isn't a conversation. Like, this is like, yeah, of course I do that. Like, why wouldn't I? That doesn't serve me. There's plenty people in the world who work like that. Good for you. I'm glad that you always put me first, number one first. But there's a lot of us out there who enjoy serving, enjoy helping people, and we do it sometimes to our own detriment. So a challenge I have for you, for who this is hitting home with, is the ability to say no actually allows you the bandwidth and clarity to say yes to some opportunities you're missing. I know that sounds like it's really fluffy, sounds like it's a great reframe, but I just encourage you, try this for a month, try it for 2 months, and you'll start to find opportunities that weren't there before, or they seem like they kind of like magically appeared. But your brain, hey Laith, how's it going? He says, I'm really resonate with what you're saying here. So Laith, you're probably very, tell me if I'm right or wrong, you're probably very service focused. Like your clients probably love you. Like you're probably extremely well liked. And so that's difficult too, because I know Tracy's clients love her. And yeah, trust me, my clients love me when I do a bunch of extra stuff for free. When I drop I love that idea that you came up with. It's out of scope. It's not a part of the package, or, oh, I never thought about doing something like that. That's interesting. Do you want to do that in this project, or do you want to do that as a part of future work? And that starts to give signals that this next thing you're asking for is more time of mine, which means it's actually going to cost you more money. And most of the time, like the spirit of that just starts to deflate and there's not as much excitement right there. So Tracy's saying, yeah, so true. Laith is saying that's so correct, very service focused. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. So the misconception I had, calling myself out here, is I thought that saying no to a client was the opposite of good quality service, of good customer service, of going above and beyond. And so I always felt like there was duality here, that you either pick going above and beyond by saying, yes, yes, sir, can I have another one? Or you say, no, I need more money. And then you're like the greedy person who's like charging nickel and diming people. I thought it was like an opposite, a dichotomy. And what I've learned through practicing this is that No one cares. Tracy Lath, just like hold your heart here. No one cares as much as you think they do. So if they really want the thing you're offering and it costs a little bit more money to get it done, if they really want it, they'll pay you. If they really didn't want it, they'll be like, oh, I didn't know that would cost more. Cool. What doesn't happen, they don't walk away saying, oh, Lath, I had loved you up until this point, and now you're trying to charge me for extra work, or you said no, that can't be done by the same deadline, and now I'm very disappointed in you, and I'm going to have to knock down you from a 5-star to a 3-star because that's just not good customer service. So that's not how it works. It's not how it works. If you go to my favorite store, Nordstrom's, if you go to Nordstrom's, you take what you want to buy, let's say a watch. Now those are in the cases. A purse. Sorry, Lath, just work with me. You take, I'll say a coat because that's unisex. Take a coat to the front and it was underneath the 20% sign. Maybe somebody accidentally put it there. You take it to the front, they ring it, and they're like, hey, it's $890. And you're like, oh, well, I saw it under the 20% sign. They fumble around a little bit, they check, they're like, oh yeah, no, that's not where it was supposed to be. This is actually over there. The question is, do you say, hell no, it was under the 20% sign, so this is the only thing that you have to do this now because that was my perception of what it was supposed to be. I brought it to the front and I really want the jacket. Nordstrom people are going to be like, hi, and they're going to bring the manager over and you're about to be swiftly exited when they repeat to you that it's still $890. And the thing is, we've been programmed in those circumstances to accept that it's ridiculous to expect to pay something that we as a customer want to pay. We don't decide what it is, the other person does. So this is a roundabout way, but it really hits home to major concept of what I'm talking about. It is understanding what the no actually means. So no does not mean poor customer service. What no means is that you respect yourself. This one's going to hurt a little, but it's true, and I just went through it. No is respecting yourself, your own desires, more than the desires of the other person. And when that's all come around for me, and I mean like literally today, it hit home, I was like, man, that is tied into self-worth somewhere. Somewhere deep down, the people-pleasing is tied on the other end of low self-worth, straight up. That's what it is for me. I think it's a really common thing. Let me know if that's resonating with you guys. Again, not projecting, just sharing. So I've been thinking about that, and I've made this change. And I've started to think about, as I'm making new connections, people who are way ahead of me, people who literally think differently than I think. And I'm on calls with them, and I'm on Zooms with them, and asking questions, and they're dropping their wisdom, and I'm listening, and I'm asking more questions. And I'm learning from these people who are way ahead of me. It's the way they think that is just different. It's the way that they process information. It's like these constructs of like me this my entire life thinking that no means not good customer service. Like customer's always right. And then being able to start to reframe that stuff that it's not that. It's me protecting my energy and intention so I can serve my clients and my people and myself in a much better way. And literally, when I have shown up with that different energy, I can tell you what, on my client calls, when I'm coaching my people, I have such clarity and I have a ton of conviction, but it's not loud. It's like, and I can be very loud. It's just part of my personality, but it's not in your face. Like, I don't feel out of sorts trying to convince the other person that this is true. So somehow this is all related. The concept of me sticking up for myself and providing myself boundaries and almost, I guess, knowing my time is worth it, knowing I'm worth it, has allowed me and translated right back to my clients where when I'm talking to them, I am like dropping truth bombs or asking really good questions and then just listening. Instead of rolling in there, thinking I have the answer, thinking I'm going to write out something, a script for them of what they need to go fix. I'm like, I don't even know what the problem is yet. I don't even know where we're at. Where's this person's head at right now? Let me meet them where they're at. And I do that the first 15 minutes of all my calls, maybe 20 if they're in a tough spot. And then I move on to my agenda. And that's just take that, run with it if you'd like. You can try it. It's been amazing because I realize that when I'm bringing them onto my calls and I have to present, I'm really eager for my own agenda. And most of the time they want to see what I have to show them too. But if they have something itching in their mind that they want to ask about with sales or viral organic marketing, or they want to know about their pricing, or they had a weird SS, or their messenger conversation isn't working, they need to get that out first. And so how are they supposed to quietly listen, take in what I'm saying for 45 minutes while I present something when they've got something hot on their mind? And I realized that that is coming from a similar place of the no, which is I thought people pleasing meant giving them exactly what I said I was going to give them, the way that it was supposed to be done, the way it's structured, and here you go. And I've actually changed and kind of worked all of this around that I'm like, I do enjoy pleasing people, but what I enjoy more than people pleasing is getting people results. So in my mind, I've started to reframe that I'm not a people pleaser, I'm a people results getter. And so then that person is allowed to act differently. But what I do in that is I'm extracting information from them and I'm helping meet them where they're at. So it's a very empathetic way to help people and to learn from people and be able to coach and guide them in a much better direction than me just thinking that the next thing they need to hear is all from me. So that's kind of wrapping it all back together is the concept of we talk to ourselves the most often. What are those conversations we're having with ourselves? What are we saying is okay and what are we saying is not okay? What are some of the shifts we can make in terms of reframing how we show up in the world so we can get better serve the people who need us? And so we can make progress. We can be leaders. We can inspire other people. And that's helped me a lot because the whole concept of boundaries has been extremely confusing to me. I felt like it was very chop down, like get out of my space. I don't have time for you. It's not really what it's like. And I can say through that, the freedom to make decisions and not feel guilty about it has added more energy back into my bucket. It has further enhanced the confidence I've already had. And like I mentioned earlier, I don't need to convince people on a call. Whether it's a strategy session or whether we're on a call and we're coaching, whether I'm showing them my graphic design work or whether I have an idea about what their tagline is, I don't need to convince them anymore. I'm just bringing up ideas, but it comes across really differently. And when the way it comes across, it makes me feel less anxious. I'm not as hyped up about it. I'm not worrying about what am I going to say next on the strategy session to wheel them in. I'm not even actually trying to do that. And I can tell you what, that leaned out but not leaned in kind of approach of just being sincere and caring and taking a minute to breathe and figure out what's actually happening in the situation has allowed me to get people more results. And guess what? When you get people more results, they're very pleased with you. They are more pleased with you than if you gave them something for free that they asked for, that they thought they needed but didn't really need. So I can say that's a fact. You get people results, they are very pleased. So I just found a way to kind of work around that. And I've been very careful and I'm creating opportunities. And I encourage you guys to do the same. I encourage you to find buddies, find entrepreneurs who are similar to you, different than you, at different places than you, ahead of you, behind you, whatever. Don't make the mistake that the only people you can hop on calls with are people who are ahead of you. Because that conversation can be very different for you than if somebody is below you in terms of their progress or their success. Obviously not worth, right? I just mean in terms of progress, where they're at in their business. Because when you get on a call with somebody who is below you in terms of where they're at, you being able to teach that person and be able to see things or notice patterns or advise or ask questions. All of that will cement your knowledge and literally will take you up one notch. Because when you teach it, you learn it. And that's why I'm a huge proponent of, as soon as you get knowledge inserted in your brain, give it away. Give it away, give it out, teach it to somebody, teach it to anybody, talk about it, write about it, put it in an organic post, call your mom and tell her what you learned. Like, anybody who will listen to you, go do that. And obviously, I'm an example of this right now here on this live. I didn't know I forgot my live. I did. It's 9 o'clock. And I was like, what was the biggest learning lesson I had today? This is what it is. This is me showing up, giving away my knowledge. So I feel good about the world, and it's cemented in for me. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hope this is helpful. It is really interesting to play this game of being an entrepreneur. I have had an amazing record-breaking month that I'm super grateful for. And I'm starting to see that the things I actually ask myself, the conversations I'm having now, are really different. They're talking about, who am I? What are the things I'm thinking about? What is that person thinking about? How does that person challenge them when they get to this level? How do you lower your highs and higher your lows? How do you normalize success without getting an ego about it? How do you stay hungry for the next thing? How do you make sure that this happens again and that you continue to grow? So it's really interesting of balancing, like, celebrating yourself and being excited, but not getting to the point where you have like a crazy high and then you're falling off of a cliff and then, you know, you're feeling horrible the next few days later. So it's an interesting game. It's one I love to play, love to talk about. And I want to say thank you for those who commented tonight. Lathan, Tracy, I appreciate it. I love having a lively audience. I appreciate you guys. And I hope you kill it the rest of this week. Remember, November is not over until Monday, the 30th. So get out there, keep showing up. Your people need you. Peace.